This is a Miami Sports Music Podcast Network production. This is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers, let's go.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fins for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro.
To a time, to a time. Cornrow to a time. What's up, baby? It's Throwback Thursday. What is going on? Good morning to my family, my Finlaws, my fellow Finlaws. What's up? What's good? What y'all doing today? Y'all doing the thing. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all today on Clock Blockers, the #1 Miami fan morning show. Beautiful day today. I'm your host, Stephen Daniels. You can follow me on all social media at Stephen D SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Okay, make sure y'all do that. Okay, make sure you. No, I'm serious. Follow me at Stephen D SKPL. Not playing with y'all. Do it now. Get to the chopper now. Also, you can follow Miami Sports Music everywhere at Miami Sports Music, except online where we are at MIA Sports Music. Okay, make sure y'all do that. It's a big deal. Follow us on Twitter or X at MIA Sports Music. On your way in, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Seriously, hit the like button. No, I'm not playing with you. Please hit the like button, please. Andrevia says, follow the real Stephen. Follow the real Stephen D. No. Andrevius has a fake account for me. At Stephen D _ SKPL. I can't call it a burner account because I don't run it. It's a parody account. That's the way I look at it. It's a parody account. That's what it is. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. No, seriously, go subscribe. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? We're at 11,092 subscribers, which means we're 8 subscribers away from 11,100 subscribers. Bang, bang. Make sure y'all do that. Go subscribe. Tell your brother, your sister, your mama, your cousin. If they're not subscribed to the channel, what are they waiting for? No, seriously, what are they waiting for? Why are they waiting to subscribe? Why haven't you told them yet? Go do it. Do it now. If you want to sign up to become a member today, there are plenty of seats waiting at the table for you. We'd love to see you sign up and become a member today and become part of the, y'all ready for it? Family. That's right. Sign up today. Become a member of the family. There are plenty of seats waiting for you. All right. What are you talking about, Trucker Sean? You're unsubbing. That's what you're going to do, to unsub. You know what I had today, Trucker Sean? I had a happy anniversary for you and your beautiful, beautiful wife, Jacqueline, who both of you were absolutely amazing to me on fan club weekend, and I could not have gotten some stuff accomplished without y'all's help. So happy anniversary, happy 10-year anniversary to you guys. As a matter of fact, where's the I gotta find the applause. Happy 10-year anniversary to you guys. I hope it's filled with more beautiful memories and more Dolphins victories. All right. So that's what I want for you guys. Anyways, now that we got all that out of the way, if you want to become a member of the channel, you can be like Trucker Sean. Who else is in here that's a member of the channel? Trucker Sean is the only member of the channel this morning. Nobody else is a member of the channel because they don't love me no more. And I get it. I understand. No love for me. If you guys want to help the channel grow by donating, a couple different ways you can do it. You can use the YouTube live super chat, which is the $ below the bottom of the chat, or you can use Cash App or PayPal, which is $MSM Podcast Network. You use the QR code that you see right on your screen, or MSM Podcast Network, or use the QR code that's right on your screen. No, seriously, go use it. I'm not playing with you. go do it. Do it now. Get to the chopper now. So yeah, and I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor of the show, Tailgreeter. Download the app today on your current Crapple or Android devices, whatever it is that you got. Make sure you guys do that. All right. Make sure you guys do that. Download the app today or go to tailgreeter.com and type in FedEx Takeover. If you want to go to the FedEx Takeover in Washington, D.C., I hope to see you there. We still have all-inclusive tailgate tickets as well as bus tickets available. And if you need a game ticket, I have access to some game tickets. Hit me up. DM me at Stephen DSKPL. I'll be more than happy to help you. If you want to know about the bus, our partner hotel is the Hampton Inn over at the Washington, D.C. White House. There is still availability left over at that hotel. If you guys want to get it, the group rate is sold out. But if you guys want to get in at that hotel, we have a round trip bus ticket for $50 per person to and from the game on a big charter bus. So I think we got like 20 spots left to fill that sucker up. So get in on that. It's going to be a big deal. So book the bus on Tailgreeter. Make sure you get it. It's going to be a good time. All right. All right. It's Throwback Thursday. Throwback Thursday is one of my favorite shows of the day. And there's a lot of really cool stuff that's going on today and to talk about. And I usually have a co-host, and he'll be on with me here in about 10 minutes. So as soon as he gets on, and then Tamaris, I think, is going to be joining us this morning as well. So we're just waiting for them to get on. Let me say hello to the people in the chat while I'm in here. I got Canes 1989 is in the building. Dravius, Manza Chill. Who else is in here? Aquavision. Dolphins 24/7 with Colin. What's up, man? How are you? Super excited to see you. And Raul. Raul was the first person in this morning. Morning, Stephen D. and Dolphins fans around the world. I like it. Bob Young is also in the building. Good morning, Bob. How are you, buddy? Miss you. Good to see you. All right. And yeah, I think that might be it. If you haven't shared the link, go share the link right now on Twitter or Instagram or whatever it's called now, X. Make sure you share the link. Let people know that we're live right now. Because if you don't let them know that we're live, how are they ever going to know? Okay? Make sure y'all do that. All right? All right. My co-host isn't here yet, but it doesn't matter because the greatest person in the world is here. Although that person did not, when I sent them a happy birthday text, did not respond to my birthday text. And I feel some type of way about it. I'm not going to name no names. I'm just going to say, Tam. Wow.
How dare you put me on blast like that? Okay, first of all,
happy birthday text and got no response.
Let me put on. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
It's not like you had 200 people on your phone wishing you happy birthday, and I was probably all the way down at the bottom. That didn't happen at all.
You were late. You were late.
How was I late?
You didn't even say happy birthday to me on the 11th, 11/11. You said happy birthday to me on the 12th.
Well, I'm sorry, Facebook got your thing wrong.
No, they did not get my thing wrong.
All right. You know what? Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Would you turn 21 again? 22?
21 again.
21 again.
I'm young, guys. I'm young.
Did you do anything fun?
No.
You didn't do anything fun. You didn't go party. You didn't have a nice meal. You didn't go to a nice restaurant.
I did go to a nice restaurant, and I did have a nice meal. And I tried. I don't know why I decided to think that I would be able to do like 11 drinks because obviously my birthday is 11/11. It didn't
work out well. It didn't work out well.
It stopped at 6, and after 6, I was like, "Why the fuck?"
Okay, so 2 weeks from now on Tuesday, what day is that? That is the 28th. The 28th. DJ Genesis, who's the Florida Panthers DJ. He also is a DJ of one of the radio stations down there and was a DJ for Kelly Rowland for her tour. Big time DJ down there. He does the show on me with Tuesdays, and it's his birthday. And so we're going to do a drinking show, which means anytime anybody donates $50 or $100, you take a shot or you take a beer. Now, I do this once a year, and I get pretty tore up. But why don't you join us on the 28th and do that with us, Tamaris? And we'll see how many more drinks you can get in.
No.
Cameron,
No.
tell her, Cameron, it's worth it. It's worth it.
It is
Cameron.
not worth it. It is not. Don't lie. Don't do that.
Cameron,
I mean, it's funny watching Steven get tore up.
Man, it was bad when we did it this past year. OJ McDuffie came on and paid $100 for me to take a shot. It was not good. It was not good at all.
And you're trying to have me do that. That sounds amazing.
Look, Tamaris, are you down for the cause? Are you down for the show? If you really are, you'll do this.
Listen, I know Tamaris well enough to know she's only down for one cause, and that's her own. So if you want to pay $50 to watch Tamaris get tore up, that's a total different story.
That part. I'm not getting drunk for no reason if I'm not getting paid.
See, now you want
guys, again, I do this for free.
You do, because you love us. Mm-hmm. Tell us about All-Star Shore. How's that going right now?
So last episode airs December 7th. So there's 4 more episodes. There's an episode coming out tonight. As of right now in the competition, me and my partner fucking suck. Like suck. Like,
and who's your partner?
Everything.
Who's your partner?
Vinny.
Vinny.
Me and Vinny suck. And we know this. We know that we suck. But I'm hoping within the next couple of episodes, like, we get better.
You would think you'd have some
who knows?
athletic talent. Some athletic talent.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, and they didn't put this in the show, and I'm giving you, like, a little bit of insight. I pulled both of my thigh muscles, which I've never done before in my life. The second competition. And after that, I was
never the same. You were never
the same.
Okay.
I was never.
We'll blame it on the injury, Cameron. I'm sure that's exactly what it was. If you guys miss it, it's All-Star Shore on MTV. What day of the week?
Today.
Thursday. Every Thursday night. So you guys watch that and then go watch the rest of the football game. Tonight's game is going to be a pretty good game.
You can like go like what Cameron does. Like once the commercial comes on, the football, then he goes to MTV.
Or you have a tablet or a cell phone and you watch on your cell phone the game or your show and watch something else on the TV.
I don't think they're going to do all of that. I think these guys are really in for the football. But
you'd be surprised.
You're going to watch all the way into episode 8 on MTV.com if you haven't watched at all. So you can see me.
You can catch up on MTV.com. Make sure you all do that. Cameron, what's up? How's everything going with you? What's going on, buddy?
Good, man. Busy. It's that time of the year and get ready for the holidays and slinging the good juice and opening restaurants and all that good stuff. But I still have time for you, Steven.
I know. I love it. I feel so special.
Have time for Clock Blockers.
I feel so special. What do you got coming on this Sunday, man? The Dolphins are finally playing another home game again, and East 32 is going to be rocking.
We're rocking, man. We've got a good menu for the Las Vegas Raiders, although it's Oakland theme, with tacos and tortas and a lot of good Latin American, Mexican themed foods going on. Got a good crowd. We've got the Raiders fan club from Oakland coming and attending this game, about 17 of them. We've got a Dolphins fan club coming from Las Vegas, which is really cool. There's like 4 or 5 people, from their fan club. So, it should be fun. I know that we've got a guest hosting Clock Blockers, the live tailgate show.
Yes, the Tailgreeter pregame show, or Clock Blockers tailgate edition show. Batman from the Finsaholic show, he's going to be hosting the tailgate show over at East 32. And hopefully we're going to have special appearances by the guys from the Fins Tailgate. Hopefully Miss Fins will stop by. And a couple of other big-time Miami Dolphin YouTubers will stop by and hang out with Batman. Batman will be live on Miami Sports Music YouTube channel right here from 10 a.m. to noon on Sunday, Eastern Standard Time. So we hope that you guys hang out with that. It'll be live from East 32. If you're going to the game, make sure you go stop by the Tailgreeter tent over with Batman at East 32 as he'll be hosting. And I'm going to hop in for a little bit live from my studio here in Mississippi, the SIP. And we're going to be talking.
Studio, or
how can you consider yourself a real Dolphin fan when you're all the way over there? Just saying.
I would consider myself more of a Dolphins fan. I'm just saying. All right, real quick, time out. So we live in a nice neighborhood here, okay? And I have a flag, like they have a flag stand out in front of our house right next to the front door. So I was super excited about having a flag stand, like I could fly a flag. So I went out, and the very first thing I ever bought for the house was a Miami Dolphins flag, and I stuck that thing in there, and I have another Miami Dolphins flag inside the garden that's out in front. And randomly, somebody in our neighborhood left me a brand new Miami Dolphins keychain on my mailbox with no note.
Aww.
So I have a Miami Dolphins secret admirer.
You know what? Maybe it was your wife because she's such a boss ass bitch. Like that's probably what she did.
She is a boss ass bitch.
To make you feel special. Like she's like, you know what? Steven needs a little bit of think someone in the neighborhood is a Dolphins fan because no one is.
Because no one else around here is. There are a few though. I met one going to fan club weekend that lives like 10 minutes away, and we did that. And there's another one on the way. So there's
for life. Did you read what he wrote?
He says, she's right, bro. The keychain has a tracker on it. Oh, I didn't even think about that, Cap.
See.
Stalker, Artful Dodger says stalker.
Yeah. It's got a tracker.
I don't know how this works. I've never been stalked before. Sounds fun.
Look at you.
I'm kind of a big deal.
I'm just warning you. You're in the deep south. It could be.
It might not work out.
It might not be so fun.
All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. It is week 11 of celebrity NFL picks, and Tamaris figures out a way to kill us every time. And I think we got a good load of games here that we're going to talk about, and let's dive right into it. Tonight, on Thursday night, week 11, first game of the week, is actually a very important one for all fans of the AFC and in the AFC playoff hunt because the Ravens and Bengals, this could be one of those games that determines who the AFC North champion is going to be, and whoever the AFC North champion could be, are they going to compete with us for that #1 seed? So it'll be interesting. The game's in Baltimore, and it's going to be one of the best games of the weekend. I'll start with Cameron. Cameron, what do you think?
Baltimore's playing well. They got the run game going. I'm still not sold on Cincinnati, although they fool us every year about this time of year and just go on like a 6-game win streak. Joe Burrow looks, better, but they've got some injuries to their wide receiving, room, and Baltimore at home is hard to beat. So I'm going to take Baltimore.
Yeah, I think the Baltimore game is going to be very interesting because looking around the Baltimore game, there's Lamar Jackson is playing some of the best football in the NFL right now, and he's playing really, really well. And I think that
although he's not scoring any fantasy points, just I want to throw that in there.
But they're winning games. Like he's part of the reason for that. So look, Cincinnati shows up when they want to show up. So I'm just going to say I'm going with Baltimore because Baltimore's at home. And I think that, Lamar Jackson's going to put on a show. And I don't know what Cincinnati Bengals team's going to show up. I just don't. Tamaris, what do you think?
Okay. First of all, I just want to compliment you. #1, Stephen. Okay? The fact that you put up the actual teams on the screen, like,
oh, you like that?
Can we? You're upgrading. This is what you do, guys. I just want to say to all the listeners and all the subscribers, this is what your money goes to. So please don't forget to donate and subscribe, okay? Because he gets to upgrade and put each and every game that helps me because I don't even know what I'm talking about half of the time. Okay,
you still beat us.
I still beat you guys. okay, I
Hey,
just want
Tamaris calls it an upgrade. I call it dumbing it down.
Dumbing it down.
Sometimes you have to dumb it down for people like me. So I am going with the Ravens because I love the birdies. I love that. Even though I always love my Bengals.
You and your bird theory. I mean, I don't know. You were right one week and wrong another week on it. So
no, there was one week I was wrong. Like all the birds lost. I saw all the birds. But I think this week the Raven is gonna win.
The Raven.
Edgar Allan Poe. Hence, actually, Edgar Allan Poe is from Baltimore, and the Ravens are named after Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven.
See, always a fun fact from Steven.
Snapple fact. There you go. Game number 2 that we're going to be talking about this morning, staying in the AFC North, is another division rival game. The Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Cleveland, who lost Deshaun Watson this week for the year. Deshaun Watson is out for the year, $200 million guaranteed. I think he's played a total of like 6 games for them, maybe. And it's been a waste of money, and they got rid of draft picks to, it doesn't look good for Cleveland right now, Cameron, does it?
I think it looks great for Cleveland, and this is the reason why. Number one, Pittsburgh is anemic on offense. As long as Matt Canada's calling the plays, they might not score more than 12 points a game. Cleveland's defense is the best in the league, hands down. And they're starting, unfortunate injury for Watson, but, he's got the best agent in the game, in my opinion, to get him the contract that he did. I think he's owed like $187 million guaranteed. And he's been in, he's played 11 games. That aside, they're starting the rookie from UCLA, Darius Thompson, whatever his name is. He's one of those 3-name guys. But he played really well in the preseason. And he's had, up to this point in the season to learn from Watson and get a lot of good reps. He's getting all the first team reps this week. They have a really good running game with that defense, coupled with Pittsburgh's inability to score, and Pittsburgh's injured in the backfield as well in the defensive secondary.
Fitzpatrick's out for he out for the year?
No, I don't know if he's out for the year. But I think Cleveland wins this, and it's not even close.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Tamaris, what do you think? Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. If we're going in by order, by what you have on that screen, is that the next game? Because I had Cowboys and Panthers. Okay,
we're going by the screen.
It's fine. Fuck the screen. I'm going with the Browns.
You're going with the Browns. Any particular reason why? Or are you just going with them because you think
because I feel like at the end of the day they're still at the same level, so it can either go either way. Because right now, what I wrote, they're in the same level, so it can go either way. But like I'm not a Steeler, so I'm like, okay, let's go for the Browns.
Okay. I ain't mad at it. I am not mad at it. Look, for me, I don't believe in the Browns. I didn't believe in them when they had Deshaun Watson, and I definitely don't believe in them now. I'm going for the Steelers. I think the Steelers, as long as they have Mike Tomlin as their head coach, are always going to be a competitive football team and always have a shot. So I'm going Pittsburgh is going to go into Cleveland and get it a dub. That's how I'm going to look at it. So,
Cameron, who did you pick?
Cameron picked Cleveland.
Browns. Okay. Thank you.
All right, next game up. Let's go to we'll skip the Raiders and the Dolphins, and we'll come back to that. The Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions. A lot of inter division games this weekend. Bears, Lions. Cameron, what do you think?
Justin Fields, the return. He is going to be starting this weekend.
Yes.
Is that enough for the Bears to go into Detroit and win? I don't think so, but he did so last year, and he had that epic game at home versus Detroit as well. But I just don't think Chicago has enough to go into Detroit and beat Detroit, although I think the game is going to be a lot closer than people think. The spread is 7.5, I believe.
Okay.
Look real quick here. 7.5, yeah, and the over-under 48. I think the Lions win, but they win by 3. So
are you a believer in Dan Campbell and what he's trying to do there in Detroit? Do you think he's,
listen,
the fit there?
I'll reference Omar Kelly's bizarre take that culture doesn't matter and locker rooms don't matter. And Dan Campbell is the walking epitome of culture and why it matters. And so to answer your question, yes.
Yeah, I like what he's doing there. I think Detroit can make a big run in the playoffs. I think they're a really good football team, and I'm going Detroit over the Bears. And I'll tell you, the Bears, I don't know what's going on with their franchise right now, but man, they don't seem to be making a lot of good decisions in my opinion.
That's not true at all. And Steven, this is where we're going to have a big difference of opinion here. They made a great decision last year in picking up one of the best wide receivers in the league from Carolina and their first round draft pick, which may pretty much be the number one pick in this year's draft, along with their own draft. They have a stockpile of draft picks. They just signed Montez Sweat, traded for Montez Sweat for a 5th round draft pick, and then signed him to a long-term deal at a really good bargain price. Chicago's on the upswing. Am I sold on their head coach? Not so much, but I will tell you this. They just won 3 games with a D3 quarterback and now get Justin Fields back. So that's why I think this game will be a lot closer than people think.
All right. Tamaris, who do you have? Detroit Lions versus the Chicago.
This is why I don't like to hear you guys talk and then I sway my decision because you guys are saying all this stuff that I don't know what's going on, and I'm just looking at the teams and I'm like, okay, today I'm picking my magic juju. Which one is it going to be? And it's messed up, but it's fine. It's okay. Anyways, even though everything that you guys said and you guys are shitting on the Bears, I'm picking the Bears. Atta
girl. You know what? And Tamaris, if anything hasn't taught you over the past 2 years about your picks,
we don't know anything.
Whatever is spewing out of our mouth is nothing but horseshit. So
yeah,
you just
because
no, 100% sure. 100% sure.
I think that I think I picked the Lions, and I'm picking the Lions, man. I just think Dan Campbell's got that team right where he needs them, and there's a lot of good players on that team. So Lions are going to win, and I don't think the game's going to be close, personally. That's how I feel about it. All right, let's go to the next game. Next game, the Tennessee Titans are going to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars. Tamaris, Tennessee Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm going for the Jaguars. I'm going for a cat today.
So you're going with the you're just going for animals. I feel like you're
no, because I went for Bears, I went for Ravens, and I went for Jaguars. Yeah, no, I get
Browns. There's a theme here. Tamaris' Zoo. That's what we're gonna call this. Tamaris' Zoo picks.
Okay. I think we could come up with a better slogan, but we'll keep it. Let's hear people from the chat. Let's see if they can come up with a better slogan.
Okay, that's
Tamaris' Zoo.
Shout out to Chef Jew. Good morning.
All right, Cameron. Tennessee Titans, Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'll take Jacksonville, but Jacksonville's favored by 7. I think this is a lot closer game than people think it'll be. Tennessee's playing some good ball, and I'm not sold at Jacksonville, even though they've got the 2nd or 3rd best record in the AFC as a serious contender. But they beat Tennessee at home.
Jacksonville is 6-3, and I don't know if they make the playoffs. This will be a very interesting game. You start out 7-3 and still not make the playoffs is probably unlikely, but they got a tough schedule for the rest of the year, the Jaguars. I want to pick the Tennessee Titans. I do. But I think I'm going to go with the Jaguars on this because I don't think Will Levi is – I'm not sold on Will Levi yet, or Levy's, whatever his damn name is. I'm just not sold on him yet. So I'm going to go Jacksonville, Doug Peterson, and Sunshine as the quarterback. And that's what I'm going with. Jacksonville Jaguars over the Tennessee Titans. All right, let's go to the next game. At Lambeau Field, the Green Bay Packers face on the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers, Packers. Tamaris, who do you have? Chargers, Packers.
I'm going for Packers. And then Chef is said Tamaris Jungle. I love that.
Tamaris' Jungle. Ooh, that's a good one. I
love that. Yeah. It's a vibe. He's a vibe.
Cameron.
The Chargers are a poverty franchise, and I love to see it. Green Bay. I'm taking Green Bay at home. There's no way that Herbert and that crap backfield go in there and win a game. I'm taking Green Bay.
The Green Bay Packers are at a crossroads, in my opinion, of their future. Jordan Love's either going to work out or he's not. I don't think Jordan Love is Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, but
he's not Jimmy Garoppolo either.
Yeah, so I just don't know what he is yet. And I would like to see some sort of shootout this weekend in that game to see how Jordan Love holds up in a shootout.
Like with guns?
Yeah, with guns. The quarterbacks in their arms, a shootout, a high score.
Oh, okay. I was very confused. I was like, oh shit, they shoot guns. I need to really go to these games.
Well, look, the NFL turned in the XFL times 10. That's what just happened. We're gonna go. I'm gonna go Packers just because Packers are at home, and I mean. Do you think Justin Herbert's a bust, Cameron?
He's not the Holy Grail.
Why did people believe in him for 2 or 3 years as he was the next coming of, the next?
Because, man, you got nothing but a bunch of dick riders, excuse my fucking French out here, that just want to, and there's plenty of them in this chat right now that think, that still think that they're not good as Miami's number one. So,
there are still people that think the Dolphins should have drafted Herbert over Tua, which is
ridiculous.
Stupid. Absolutely asinine. All right, let's go to the next game. The Arizona Cardinals, that's an interesting team right now. And the Houston Texans, who have Rookie of the Year, maybe MVP, and CJ Stroud. The kid is... Man, he's playing some great football right now. There's a lot to say about CJ Stroud, the quarterback of the Houston Texans. Tamaris, the Arizona Cardinals versus the Houston Texans. Kyler Murray is back for the Cardinals.
Obviously, I'm going for Houston.
Texans. You're not picking the bird?
This bird wasn't doing that great. And the last time I picked this bird did not do good. I don't think this bird is it. Like, I definitely think Ravens, and there might be another. I know there's another bird, but Cardinals, Seahawks. Yeah, they're doing good. But this Cardinals, bird, no. No.
It's
not it.
It's a Tweety bird.
It's not a vibe. It's not. I don't feel it. When I was doing my magic juju to figure out which one was going to win, because, I talk to all the players on these teams and the coaches, just don't tell them, but I talk to them.
Sure. They won't admit
mind
it.
You, that guy never added me or DM'd me back.
Oh, Tyreek Hill never got back with you?
No.
Oh, by the way, Tyreek was at Bomeritos last night when our daughter trains at Bomeritos, and he was in there training with his trainers. You should have come over, Tamaris.
Did you say hi?
Oh, he was in a different room.
Oh.
I would have went in the room like, oh my God, is this? No, I know. I need to go.
Swung and missed. Cameron,
okay, but I'm going for the Texans.
What do you think about CJ Stroud, man?
I love him, man. I watched that game. I rewatched the game last night, actually, the Texans game. And, it's funny, like, he throws deep a lot, right? They run a lot. They run a lot of deep routes, and he makes those passes. But they play the receivers press the secondary a lot, and then break off their routes. And his timing is good, but his arm strength isn't great. I like him, and he's putting up a lot of numbers, so you can't say anything negative about it right now. As far as this game goes, I think it's a shootout. I think both of these offenses put up like 500 yards.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, the little Tweety Bird quarterback for the Cardinals.
Are you saying sneakily this could be the game of the week?
No, I'm saying the Texans win, and it'll be a fun game to watch.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. I 100% agree with you. I don't know which way the Cardinals are headed. I'd like to think they're on the up. I still think Kyler Murray's a good quarterback. I mean, I agree with you. I think Houston, but it's so crazy that CJ Stroud is having the season that he's having, and the Texans are winning football games. Do you think a part of that is D'Amico Ryans, the head coach there? Do you think he plays a big role in it?
He should get a lot of credit. Again, it's a culture thing, and
he's a former player too, just like Dan.
So there's a lot of respect in the room for him because he's a former player. He's been there, done that. But they've also made some really nice draft picks, and their defense is excellent. They've made some good signings.
People laughed at the Houston Texans 2 years ago as a poverty franchise, and now they're looking like Texans fans got to be super stoked about the next 5 years.
Listen, I'm a Texans fan right now because they've got a lot of good positivity rolling, and I think they win, and it'll be a fun game to watch.
Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys versus the Carolina Panthers. Damaris, Cowboys, Panthers.
Panthers suck, so I'm going for the Cowboys.
I mean, there's no other way around that one. I mean, it's pretty Panthers, much it is what it is.
Are the Panthers the worst team in the NFL right now, Cameron?
Probably, and I don't even know it.
No.
Oh,
you know why? At least they have some hope at the quarterback position, unlike New England.
Facts. By the way, both are Alabama quarterbacks, though.
New England is the worst franchise, the worst team, let's say. The product on the field is hard to watch.
Did you hear, real quick, Rob Gronkowski on Kay Adams' show yesterday? Rob Gronkowski said that if he was Mac Jones, he would tell Mac Jones to walk into Belichick's office, ask for his outright release because they don't believe in him anymore. And that as soon as they release him and he clears waivers, because he will clear waivers, that he should go sign with Cleveland and become their quarterback for the rest of the year. And that Cleveland would take him. You don't like that? Not a good idea? No?
There's no way the massage therapist that owns that franchise will go for that. But I will say this. And I was listening to Dan Orlovsky about this very subject, or not. Actually, they were talking about Belichick, and Belichick, it's known in the league, he's going to be done at the end of the season. They're going to clean house and rebuild.
Yep. And
I think, in my opinion, Buffalo does the same and hires Belichick to be the GM and the head coach. Because there's just way too much talent on Buffalo's roster to be where they're at. I mean, they are a shit show right now.
They are, yes.
And it's entirely between the ears. And they just fired Ken Dorsey, and they have the fifth best proficient offense in the league. It wasn't Dorsey's.
Ken Dorsey's going to get a job so quickly.
Well, he'll be the Miami Hurricanes offensive coordinator next year. You just watch.
Well, Mario Cristobal is going to go get him.
Listen, it's already
a match deal. Made in heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
But, I mean, doesn't it make sense if Belichick were a free agent, he goes to the place where he can win the Super Bowl the easiest?
So here's my feeling on that. Real quick.
Orlovsky said it's the Chargers and Herbert.
Well, so I'm gonna add one more team's name in there for the Belichick situation, and that's the New York Giants. I think that the Giants could easily get rid of Brian Daboll, and Belichick could go back to where it all started with Bill Parcells, and I could see that happen.
Wouldn't be surprising.
I could totally see that happening. All right, just for my pick, I'm picking Dallas. Dallas is going to kill the Panthers. Cowboys might put up 50 points this week. Like they're going
to. As much as I want to pick Carolina, I just can't do it. Like it's just, Dallas is. I think Dallas could run out their second team and win this game. As much as I want to see Carolina win, and I really do, just to hear watch Cowboy fans cry. For no other reason.
All right, next game up, the New York Giants versus the Washington Commandos. I said Commandos. Everybody heard that. Okay. Let's go to Tamaris. Tamaris, the Commanders or the Giants?
The Commanders.
What?
Yeah, the Giants suck. What do you mean? The Giants haven't been doing good this season.
I was surprised. I thought you were going to go with New York for New York, but
no, because I'm not like, if you're a loser, you're a loser, and like they're losing and they're not doing good. So like, I do not pick a team. Like I'm trying to win. You know, when it comes to the Patriots, right? No, is that the one I hate? Is that baseball?
No, Patriots. You were right. That's what we were just talking about.
Okay. Yeah, when it comes to the Can I have to pick it? No, when it comes to
know your sports.
You know what? I'm done talking.
Football.
For sure.
Gosh. Cameron, New York Giants, Washington Commanders, Sam Howell, the quarterback there right now, Ron Riverboat Rivera. What are your thoughts about the Commanders, and who do you see winning this game?
We don't even know who's going to be the quarterback for the Giants because DeVito didn't practice yesterday.
DeVito did not practice.
Saquon didn't practice yesterday. Kevin Thibodeau is still in concussion protocol. Like,
the Giants do not have a starting quarterback as of this moment.
I mean, you got it. When Washington's favored by 9, I think they win by 21.
Yeah. Commanders are going to absolutely demolish the Giants.
First of all, this chat is going off. Okay, they're like making fun of me, but also like not making fun of me. But like, I love you guys. You guys are the best.
I'm gonna go with the Commanders, and I'm gonna go with the Commanders big. And are you surprised that Sam? What do you think of Sam Howell, Cameron? Do you think he's going to be the starter for this team for the next five years plus?
I can see it. I mean, he's doing all the right things, and he's a really strong quarterback. He was strong coming out of North Carolina, and he was a good.
You think he's a franchise quarterback?
You know, as long as they're winning, he's a franchise quarterback. Right?
I agree. I think he's the best quarterback since Kirk Cousins there, and he might even be the best quarterback before Kirk Cousins, like in a long time. He's one of the best quarterbacks they've had. All right, let's go to the West Coast. The San Francisco 49ers are hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cameron, I'm going to start with you. Tampa Bay, San Francisco.
Tampa Bay, San Francisco. God, is this my upset game of the week?
You know what? I'm going to start. It is my upset of the week. I think Tampa Bay is going to beat San Francisco. Baker Mayfield is still playing with a purpose. Baker's still a starter in this league. He is. And I like what Tampa Bay's doing. And this is my upset of the week. And I've been right on like 3 out of my last 5 upsets of the week. So I'm going.
I mean, have we really clocked you on that?
Yeah. Who called I called the what game? The Denver Broncos beating the Kansas City Chiefs, and everybody said I was crazy. And I'm like, I'm telling you. And it happened.
But you said 5 games and you only said 1. It's fine. It's okay. I'm not trying to clock you or anything.
No, it sounds like you're trying to call me out, Tamaris, on my own show. How dare you? Tampa Bay, San Francisco. My upset of the week is Tampa over San Fran. Cameron?
The 49ers are favored by 11.5 points.
Yep.
At home. They're 6-3. On paper, this is a game they should win, by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I agree with you in that Tampa Bay is going to play a lot tougher, that Baker is a good quarterback, and but not good enough to beat San Francisco at home. I think it's a closer game than the spread indicates. And I think San Francisco wins by 6.
If I was a betting man, which I am not, I would definitely be taking Tampa in the points all day.
Rick says 49ers will kill Tampa Bay. Snap out of it.
Tamaris, who do you have? 49ers, Tampa Bay.
49ers, because they're going to win. Hating. Hate her. Hey, I cannot. You know what? I'm actually going to watch this game. When is it? It comes out on Thursday? On Sunday?
What?
Sunday? 3 o'clock. Right, stay left.
Yeah.
No. But when is like the last minute of the last quarter? Like, what time should I like actually tune in?
6 o'clock.
To figure that out.
5:30.
Okay, 6 o'clock. 5:30. All right. I'm gonna write that down.
Because you can't stand to watch the first 3 quarters, right?
You're like,
I can't stand to watch. I need to watch like the last minute, right? The last second.
Tamaris, you should come to Washington and come to the FedEx takeover. You should.
FedEx takeover.
Yeah.
What is FedEx doing? Are they giving me free shipping?
No, we're doing the FedEx takeover. You can come to it, Tamaris. FedEx isn't giving you anything.
So why am I going?
To hang out and drink and have fun.
Great.
But I just started drinking this year. Like, I'm not even a drinker.
All right, whatever.
Just
fine.
great.
I invite you and you just, whatever. Don't even worry about it.
Okay. No. It's fine. Like, yeah. No, for sure. I'm going.
Lies.
100%.
She gets a free plane ticket, free hotel, and a free game ticket.
First class, honey. First class. From row, I don't like the bulkhead. So from row like 2 to 4, window seat. Not the critic.
Y'all start donating and get Tamaris to Washington.
I'll go if I get sponsored to go. Someone's gonna sponsor me.
Jets and Bills.
Wait.
Jets and Bills.
Nice
Not you
second.
just like going like it's just like completely not acknowledging.
I'm not. I refuse.
My sponsorship.
I'm mad at you right now. I'm mad.
Don't be mad.
I'm mad at Tam. I'm gonna go with Cameron first. Jets and Bills.
Man, I've been thinking about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter if Dorsey was fired, right?
I don't
think
think
so. What is Brady, the new offensive coordinator, going to bring to this offense that we haven't seen already?
There's nothing that they can do.
I mean, they can run more, which I think they should do.
James Cook is there. I like it.
Latavius Murray had 80 yards on 6 carries last week. Josh Allen needs to use his legs more. They have a shit offensive line, I'll tell you that much. The Jets defense is legit. But again, Zach Wilson's the quarterback there. So to me, this is like anybody's game, honestly. Like, Buffalo's favored by 7 and the over-under is 40. I can't see this over-under being more than 30.
I think this is going to be the worst game of the week.
110%.
It's going to be a horrible football game to watch. Really
going to be on like the national broadcast 80% of this football.
I know, which is stupid.
Because it is a 4:30 feature game.
It's so stupid. So stupid.
I'm taking Buffalo. Although I'd love to see the Jets win. I'm taking Buffalo at home.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, that's a better question. What's the over under on total interceptions by both quarterbacks?
6.
Yeah, Allen has 3, Wilson has 3.
So the over under is 5. Let's say the over under is 5 total interceptions in that game. And I'm taking the over.
100%.
Total
turnovers 7.
The over under is 5. I'm taking the over. This is so tough to pick. I'm going to go with the Jets, and I hate saying that, but because I hate the Jets with a passion.
We could use the Jets win, right? Like the Dolphins could use the Jets win.
I'm going Jets. Jets over the Bills, and I have no reason other than their defense is better, and Josh Allen's going to have a nightmare with their defense.
Oh, I mean, like people would like calling for firing everybody if the Jets go into Orchard Park and win.
Which will be funny.
It would be awesome.
I'm here for it. Tamaris, Jets, Bills.
I don't know why I'm the last one to pick, but it's fine. Bills. It's okay.
I feel some type of way.
I know. I literally feel like you feel some type of way, and I don't even know what I said wrong.
Some type
honestly.
of way, Tamaris.
But, okay.
Hilarious.
All right. You ready to go to the next game?
Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams. Tamaris, the Birds or the city of LA that you love?
Oh, this is a hard game for me, guys.
I know. You want to
the
go with
Seahawks?
Birds, but it is.
Yeah,
but it
I know.
is the city of brotherly. Oh no, it's not the city. Is it the city of brotherly love?
No, it's Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Oh wow. Oh wow.
City of darkness. I'm gonna go for my Birds because I have to go for my Birds. So Seahawks, so they've been killing the game, killing it. I don't even know if they have, but I'm saying that they are and they will because I'm manifesting into the universe.
I love it.
They are 6-3. They're one of the better teams in the league. So yes.
See, I don't even know, and I'm fucking killing the game. See, I should play football. I should be the one on the field playing, shooting the stuff. Whatever you guys, the shoot for
Los
shoot.
Angeles is the Angels, city of angels. That's right. I knew
Yes,
that.
it is.
City of angels. I knew that. I'm going with Geno Smith, and the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seattle Seahawks are for real. I think they're a really good football team, and the Rams are a shell of what was a Super Bowl team a couple of years ago. So, Cameron, who do you got? Seahawks, Rams.
I am taking. I guess Matthew Stafford is playing. The Rams are favored by 1. I'm sorry, they're getting 1 at home, which is crazy. I think Seattle goes into LA and wins. Kenny Walker is legit, maybe the best running back in the league.
Really?
Top 3.
That's interesting.
Nobody's had more 20 yards plus runs from scrimmage than he this season.
Okay. It's interesting. All right, let's go to the Sunday night game. Sunday night game is actually a very exciting one.
Hey, by the way, who would you take there, Steven?
Seahawks.
All right, so we all took Seattle. Got it.
For me, I think the Sunday night games got some of the best NFL storylines in football right now. Joshua Dobbs was the Cleveland Browns backup third-string quarterback in training camp, then gets traded to Arizona, and then has to start in Arizona a couple of games. And then when Kyler Murray comes back at the trade deadline, they trade him to Minnesota. He's played for 3 NFL football teams this year. And over the last 2, Joshua Dobbs has been one hell of a player for the Minnesota Vikings. And they've been fun to watch. And then the Denver Broncos lost the game in week 3, if you remember, 70-20 to some football team in Aqua and Orange. Okay. Absolutely amazing. And we thought their season was over already. Like, put them in the bag. They're done. We were talking crap about Sean Payton, how maybe he shouldn't have come back out of retirement. And now all of a sudden they've won 3 straight games, 1 against Kansas City, 1 against who'd they beat last week? The Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. So, Cameron, what is your take on this game? And are you excited to watch this game?
I am excited to watch this game because we're all root for the underdog, Joshua Dobbs, right?
Yeah.
But since that 70-point drubbing, Denver's defense has allowed less than 20 points in all of their games.
Wow. Okay.
They just held Buffalo and to an abysmal offensive showing on national TV. This is a toss-up game for me, right? Like, I really think either team could win. The Broncos are favored by 2.5 at home. And so I think I'll take the Broncos in a really exciting game. To me, this might be the game of the week.
I'm very excited to watch this game. I think it's going to be really good. I'm going to wait to give my pick. I'm going to let Tamaris give hers first.
I'm going with the Vikings.
Okay. Any particular reason why?
I just like their name.
Hey,
just like
Tamaris,
who they
do
are.
you know the quarterback for the Vikings has no eyebrows?
He has no eyebrows.
No. We're going for the Broncos. Let's go. We're changing it. I'm never going for the Vikings ever. What is wrong with him? He doesn't believe in
No.
Don't people get hair transplant? Can't he get it for his eyebrows?
He could do that. I think he has a medical condition, and that's why
it's a medical condition.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll
now
stay with the
Tamaris feels
Vikings.
bad. You just set Tamaris up for failure. She didn't
No,
know.
she's switching back to Minnesota.
Oh.
You just made Tamaris look so bad. You're trying
So
to get
bad.
Tamaris canceled. I love it.
No, literally canceled. Okay, we're staying with the Vikings because I respect the quarterback and like everything's gonna be okay. I apologize for anyone that I offended previously with my comments.
You didn't know. There's no need to apologize. We corrected.
I'm making a statement. Okay, please stop.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I'm done. I'm done. Vikings all the way. See, people in the chat, they tell me Vikings.
I think Joshua Dobbs is. Can we say comeback player of the year? Is that fair? Like,
I mean, who the hell is the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins? And when you think he's the quarterback,
he's gonna win the MVP and the Super Bowl MVP. So he's not gonna
and the comeback player of the year.
You can't win comeback player of the year and MVP.
Why not?
Because it doesn't work like that.
Wait. But if you're
what did Joshua Dobbs come back from? He was just.
That's what I was getting at. Like, I don't know if you can say he's comeback player of the year because he didn't come back from anything, really, except mediocrity.
Correct.
And now all of a sudden he's playing out of his mind. Is this the equivalent of Jeremy Lin? What's going on with Joshua Dobbs in the NBA? Remember Jeremy Lin?
Only Joshua Dobbs throws 6 interceptions this week.
I was talking to somebody. I was like, man, this Joshua Dobbs story kind of has remnants of Jeremy Lin when he played for the Knicks for 10 games, 11 games, and went off. Okay. I'm going the Vikings. Joshua Dobbs. I'm not Joshua Dobbs, Vikings for me.
Hey, so BLP has an important question I think that Tamaris should answer in the chat.
What's better, no-brows or unibrows?
That's a really good answer. Good
Anthony
question.
Davis rocks the unibrow pretty well out there in LA.
It's so hard. I'm going to say a unibrow because I don't think I can talk to someone. Like, am I just like looking at their whole forehead from, let me stop talking. Let me not get canceled. Let me stop talking. You guys are setting me up for failure. I have a show every Thursday at 9 p.m. on FCB. I want to continue doing more shows. I am so sorry for anyone that I offended, and I'm done. Stop asking me about these eyebrows. This is not a situation I want to talk about.
Don't worry too much. There's only like 30 people watching.
There's only 30 people.
Only 30. It's fine.
That's it. All right. Next up is could be the game of the week. Probably is. Super Bowl rematch. Philadelphia Eagles, best team in the NFC, against the best team in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's in KC, right?
It is in Kansas City. Tamaris, who do you got?
I'm going for the Birds. I'm going for Eagles because I feel like the Eagles are like the number 1 team right now, and they're killing the game. I feel like they're like top 3. I feel like it's the Dolphins, it's the Eagles, and it's the Chiefs, and I think the Eagles are going to beat the Chiefs. And tell me if I'm wrong because I know I'm not wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think that you're wrong. I think that the Eagles win this game. I think they go into Kansas City. They take care of business. Kansas City has not played well the last 2 games. They haven't. Their defense has played decent, but offense hasn't really shown up in 2 straight games. And so I'm going to say that they're not going to show up against Philadelphia either. So I'm going Philadelphia over Kansas City. Cameron?
Let's go.
What a good game, right? Like, number 1. But do you see the Chiefs coach losing to his old team again at home?
I do. I just do.
I think this is the game where Mahomes stakes his claim as the MVP, and I think that KC wins and puts the NFL on notice that they're the Super Bowl champions, and until someone beats them, they're the best team in the NFL.
First of all, how can he consider himself a Dolphins fan when he just said that they're the best team in the NFL?
I know. Call him out. Call him out, Tam.
Just putting it out there. How dare you wear a Dolphins fan with the 305 on the hat?
Listen, do you know what the Swifties do to you if you try to cancel them?
Oh, you know what? I should stop talking. I should stop talking. I'm done.
You don't want none of them Swifties.
Done.
All right.
My last decision is the Dolphins. I'm done talking. Don't ask me any more questions. That's going to get me canceled. Thank you very much.
Cameron, Las Vegas Raiders versus the Miami Dolphins.
First of all, who'd you pick, Philadelphia or KC?
I picked Philadelphia Eagles all day.
He did say that.
So you want me? So we're on to the Raiders and Dolphins, right?
Yeah. Raiders and Dolphins. Jose Valdez donated $20. Said for Tamaris' swear jar. Swear away, Tamaris. Swear away.
Hey,
I fucking love Jose. He's the best. I don't know why he put the cigarette. It should have been a joint, but I'm not even gonna lie about it. But it's fine. It's okay. I think that's like a whiskey cup, but we could have did a lychee martini, but it's fine. But let's go, Jose.
Jose, you're about $200 shy of a train ticket to Washington for 2 minutes.
Is it the bright line? I might do the bright line.
Yeah, it's
Tamaris, you fly.
It's Amtrak.
I know because I'm only a bird. I'm a bird, guys.
Tamaris, will you take a flight on Spirit?
Okay.
Will you take a flight on Spirit?
Okay, but here are my reasons. Hear me out. I'm not paying for a flight. And then to get it to bring in my bag into the flight and then to pay for a check-in bag, get status on like JetBlue or United, and all of that is free.
Cameron, we have bougie and fancy up here. She's too good to write.
No, I'm not bougie or fancy. I'm just not paying for a seat, then to pay for a bag, then to pay for to bring in my bag into the plane. Like,
I agree. I fly Southwest everywhere. I 100% agree with you. Now, with that being said, Solo rides Spirit because he goes up to the counter and just gets it for like $30 or $40 a flight, and then he pays for his one bag, and that's it. So it's under $100 everywhere he goes most of the time, or at least it used to be up until this year. This year, he said flights have been a lot more expensive this year. But
I'm mint. So someone that said JetBlue all day, I'm mint now. I just became mint this year.
I hate Spirit, but if you get the big fat front seat, it ain't so bad.
I've never done the big fat front seat.
It's awesome.
Do you get like drinks and stuff with it?
No, but you get.
No, you have to pay for that. You have to pay for everything on Spirit. Nothing is free.
The big fat front seat, you get one bag checked, you get one bag carry on, you get the first person on the plane, your first person off, and there's only one person next to you, and then literally it's a big fat front seat.
Hey, look, I like it.
I ain't mad at it.
I ain't mad at it either. All right, let's go to Las Vegas Raiders, Miami Dolphins. Tamaris already picked the Dolphins. Cameron, what are your thoughts about this game?
13-point favorites. I think the Dolphins win by 3. I think the Raiders come into Miami.
What?
Listen, the Raiders are a different team. They're playing really good on defense. The Dolphins have had a bye. There's going to be some rust. I get it. A-Chain is going to be back. And they haven't lost on their home turf this year, and they're still not going to. But I think they're not going to beat the Raiders by 13.
Man, I'll say this. I think that the Dolphins are going to kill them, and I don't think it's going to be close. And I think we're definitely putting up 40, and we might have a chance to put up 50.
Who'd the Raiders just beat?
I don't care. Don't care.
I'm just asking a question.
Don't care.
If you don't want to answer.
The Dolphins will win, and they will win big, and they're going to put up at least 40 points. It's good.
They could put up 40 points, but they're going to win by 3.
I can't wait to see you next week when we find out. All right. So, do you want to go? Who wrote down the picks?
I did.
All right. You want to go over them?
Do I want to go over them? All right. So the games that we had some differences on, we all picked Miami to win versus the Raiders. KC, I was the only team to pick KC. You two picked Philadelphia. I was the only guy to pick, or only person to pick Denver. You two picked Minnesota. We all picked Seattle. We all, Tamaris and I picked Buffalo. Steven picked the Jets. Steven was the only person.
So dirty. Feels so dirty picking.
You're going to feel dirty after this. Steven was the only one to pick Tampa Bay to go into San Francisco and win. We all picked Washington. We all picked Jacksonville. We all picked Houston, Green Bay, and Dallas, and Baltimore. Tamaris was the only one to pick the Bears. And that's it. We all picked Jacksonville. We all picked Houston. And Steven was the only one to pick Pittsburgh over Cleveland.
Well, I think I'm going to win this week. I like those picks. Sounds good. Tamaris, what do you got coming up? You got anything coming up, Tamaris?
I don't have really anything coming. I might do. I might not. I'm not really sure right now. But again, tonight, 9 p.m. MTV, guys. If not, go on MTV.com. Watch the first 8 episodes. It's Tamaris's Jungle. Thank you, Chef, because you're doing your thing. And guys, don't forget, like, if you end up betting and using my picks, please let me know how you do. I want to know how much money you won. Has anyone used my picks? Like, how much money did you get? And then also, Jose, thank you so much for that $20 swear jar. I'm done swearing for the rest of the day, but probably next Thursday, I'm definitely going to need it again.
Steven, don't forget that Harlan is calling the game, so that means the Dolphins are definitely covering the spread.
That changes everything.
It does.
That changes everything.
Tamaris, we love you. You are absolutely amazing.
Wait, you lost 500 with my picks? Goodbye.
B McD lost. See.
Oh, okay. You better be joking. And then Gabriel, I did follow you back on Instagram, but you don't even follow me, so I don't understand why I followed you. So I'm done with this conversation, guys.
Let the dog out.
I will. Bye.
Oh man, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. We're going to talk some Dolphins here in a second, but I do want to change sports for a second and have a conversation with you. We got another 50 minutes on the show. So we're going to talk a little baseball real quick. And I want to talk about what got approved this morning unanimously by the owners. It was unanimously voted on that the Oakland Athletics will be moving to Las Vegas. Want to get your thoughts on this, Cameron?
I mean, we see what Las Vegas has done for the NHL and the NFL, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. I think it's shitty the way the Oakland fans, who've been some of the best fans in Major League Baseball for decades, are being treated. I think that's an unfortunate fallout for this situation. But on the other hand, you know, this is America, capitalism rules, and you go where the gold is, and that's definitely in Las Vegas.
Does Oakland ever get another Major League, any professional sports team? Or are they just done because they
have Golden State, right? Don't they play in Oakland?
Golden State's in San Francisco now.
So to answer your question, no.
Yeah, I feel bad for them. Like I do. That city has lost a basketball team, a football team, and now a baseball team. And if they had a hockey team, they would have lost them too. So, yeah, it's just it. I've never.
Well, I mean, tell you something when they, you know, the franchise went to San Jose and not Oakland, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, I mean, 100%. I have never seen a city lose 3 professional franchises in a span of 5 years. Like, it happened back in the day. It doesn't happen now. What does that say about Oakland? Or just because I feel like there's fan bases there, there's diehard, there's people with money that can spend it there, or is the attraction of Vegas is what is the only reason that they're leaving Oakland?
I mean, listen, it's the last point is your most valid point in the attraction of Vegas, the money that's there, that's come through there. Like, it's So they don't have to depend on a home team to fortify the stadium, right? They don't have to depend on hometown fans to fill a stadium, is my point, because tourism is such a big economic driver there. And everybody wants to come to Miami, to see the Dolphins. Everyone wants to go to Vegas, spend a weekend in Vegas, catch a game, and have a great time. I mean, for God's sake, Formula One, do you see what Formula One is doing in Vegas? They're changing the entirety of the strip because of the money involved in the attraction F1 is here in the United States.
I think that looking at Vegas is going to do everything in its power to make sure that they can get every professional league to come there. You're right. F1 being there is huge, right? And getting baseball is going to be a very interesting thing. Now, Major League Baseball now having a franchise in Las Vegas is very interesting because of Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose. Does Shoeless Joe Jackson or Pete Rose ever get reinstated by Major League Baseball to get into the Hall of Fame? Now that
I don't know about Shoeless Joe Jackson because there was, that thing went to court and everything, and he was found guilty. So, and Pete Rose, I think, if it was found that he ever bet on his own team, that's a whole lot different, but that hasn't been found out. So I think Pete Rose deserves to be in the Hall.
Do you think now that they're going to Vegas that, it'd be kind of hypocritical to leave Pete Rose?
Well, it is hypocritical, and it's not baseball, right? It's football, it's hockey. Like there's sports books inside NFL stadiums now. And for the life of me, why are you, suspending players for having a FanDuel, account? And that's what happened to Calvin Ridley, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. The Lions running back bet on, games in the NFL. But there's sports books inside an NFL stadium. Like it's so hypocritical. Like now there's entire, segments on ESPN and NFL channel about betting and spreads and who you should take and, fantasy picks, which is gambling, mm-hmm. Is now an integral part of, our dialogue when we talk football-based basketball and baseball. And so to answer your question, because our culture is softening its perception of gambling and the almighty dollar is winning out because we see it as an economic driver, that it's acceptable to gamble, more acceptable to gamble now. Look, when I grew up, gambling on anything, just pitching pennies
was very taboo.
It was like, man, that's like the devil's work.
Yeah.
And now, you're everyone's gambling, and it's part of our culture and society that I think has become accepted. So to answer your question, I think for those reasons, Pete Rose eventually gets in the Hall of Fame. And I hope he's alive when it happens, although I doubt that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be alive when it happens, but I do think he deserves to be in at minimum as a player, even if it's not as a manager, because as a player, he did nothing wrong and he deserves to be in as a player minimum. Looking around real quick, just to touch back on Major League Baseball. So this is the second time in a half a century, I think, that Major League Baseball has done relocation. Looking around the league, seeing Tampa, if I'm correct, just signed a multi-billion-dollar deal to put a new stadium in Tampa. There are 3 cities that could potentially get an expansion team. Because if I'm correct, baseball has 31 teams. Am I right? So Nashville, Charlotte, and Montreal. Do either one of those 3 cities get an expansion team in Major League Baseball in the next 5 years now?
I would think that all 3 get a franchise. I think 2 of them get expansion, and there's a move, like someone moves to one of those cities as well.
And are there some teams that you're thinking of in the back of your mind that could be potential suitors for moving?
Listen, I
can't be Tampa anymore. Tampa would have been the main one.
I mean, you look to Miami and think that they're a candidate to move. Although I am,
they just built that stadium a couple of years ago.
Beautiful, and I'm profoundly supportive of the team and the culture, the baseball culture here. But I think it's the Dolphins in a heat town, and it's tough to compete with that. Whether it's another franchise moving, maybe it's the White Sox. Like there's a lot of political machinations there in Chicago that aren't favorable for two major league sports teams. Not to mention the city is putting a lot of resources into keeping the Bears downtown. And, everyone loves the Cubs and Wrigley Field. So, maybe it's the White Sox. I couldn't tell you there. But I think Charlotte's number one, Montreal's number two, and Nashville number three in terms of getting a major league team, whether it's expansion or moving.
Well, for me, just looking around, I think that Charlotte is probably definitely getting one, Nashville and Montreal. Montreal deserves one. I just don't think they're ever going to get the approval from Major League Baseball because they could put the kibosh on them sharing a home stadium with Tampa Bay that was approved, and then they put a kibosh to it. So they were going to.
You need to give a shout out to the Rosada 02 there.
Rosada 02, hello from Portugal. I like it. All right, there we go. You got Portugal in the building watching on Twitch.
Welcome, man. Welcome.
All right. Looking around, the rest of professional sports, NBA is doing this in-season tournament. What do you think of this? And what are your thoughts about the in-season tournament?
I think it's too early in the season to have an in-season tournament. I like it conceptually. I like it. They do the same thing for soccer. But to me right now, I think it's so early in the season that it's just teams are still figuring out who they are. And I don't think it's as competitive as it could be if you had it, around the All-Star break.
I think it's really good for NBA. I've watched games on Tuesday and Friday night for the first time before Christmas ever in the NBA. And they've been really chippy and very competitive. You go look at this week, there was a shoving match in LA and Anthony Davis and that Lakers game was getting real, pushy. And then we saw what happened this week with Draymond Green choking out Rudy Gobert, which is hilarious, by the way.
Draymond got 5-game suspension. It should be 15.
It should be 15. It should totally be 15.
I
like Draymond.
I like Draymond when his head is in the game and he plays good basketball. But this other bullshit just takes away from, his legacy. It's taken away from his legacy, and
part of his legacy is that, though. Part of his legacy is being a bully.
Yeah, but there's being a bully, and then being just a jackass on the court. You just don't do that. What he did.
You don't do it anymore. It used to be pretty big by them and the NBA. Do you think if this was the David Stern era, he would have been suspended for a year? Or maybe, maybe even worse?
I don't know. It's a tired act. Let's put it that way. But I want to ask you a question. There, my friend. The Lakers are 6-6.
Yep.
For all intents and purposes, they're not a very good basketball team.
They are. Go look at the games that they've lost. Hasn't been by much.
They're not good, bro.
They are good.
They're not good. They're giving up the most fast break points in the league. They're one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. The only thing that's keeping them in games is that they shoot the three really well, and it's because that kid they got. What happens to LeBron? Does he stay a Laker?
No, he doesn't. Well, let me not say that. That's not true. It all depends on what happens with his son, right? Bronny has yet to play a game yet for USC. He had essentially a heart attack. He had cardiac arrest this past summer or this summer, and he has not been cleared to play yet for USC. But everything that all reports and what LeBron has said is that Bronny will get cleared as long as there's no setbacks. And by December, he should be playing. The worst case scenario, by January, should be on the court. If Bronny comes out and has and USC makes March Madness, and Bronny has a big March Madness, I could see that Bronny goes to the NBA. Is Bronny good enough to play in the NBA? I don't know that yet. That's still to be determined. We need to see how he plays at USC. If Bronny comes out of the draft this year, then yes, I think he stays as a Laker and retires as a Laker, because the Lakers will do everything in their power to go get Bronny to make that happen. If Bronny stays in college basketball for one more year, LeBron's going to still try to go get a ring, and he's not going to want to play on a team that's not there. So I could totally see him saying, all right, I need to go play somewhere else for a year. Wherever that may be, I don't know. But I think it all depends on what happens with Bronny. Bronny is what will make him stay a Laker or not stay a Laker. But whatever team drafts Bronny, LeBron goes to. And if I'm any team in the NBA and I'm, if I'm New Orleans, why would I not draft Bronny James and have LeBron play here for 1 year? It would be amazing. I would do it in a minute.
The Artful Dodger put it the best and most succinctly. You should put that up there.
I hate it, but I will.
And that's the truth.
No. And let me tell you, if Bronny is drafted by Boston, I'll lose my mind. Lose my ever-loving mind.
But the fix is in, right? They're not going to do that because he wants to play with his dad. So, there's going to be shenanigans.
What do you think of the Miami Heat right now, man? What do you think of Jamie?
I love him. He was probably one of the best draft picks in the whole draft for team need and culture.
I didn't think he was.
Huh?
I didn't think he was going to be as good as he was, or is.
That guy was a stud at UCLA, and you see the role he fits into perfectly is the role that the Heat needed this year. Plus, you've got Duncan Robinson, who's gotten so much better over last year, and is playing respectable defense now. And the rest of the team is really good. Like this Smith kid is a good replacement for Vincent. So Vincent hasn't played much for the Lakers because of a knee injury. So you're not missing him. I think the Heat are in a good place. Listen, the Celtics and 76ers are the two best teams in the East right now, hands down.
They played last night, I think.
They did, and it was a really good game.
Pat Beverly from Barstool Sports, because he's got his show. They were on the sidelines, Barstool.
Yeah,
at that game, it was pretty funny. Their content's good.
Listen, the Pacers are leading the Central over the Bucks, but they have the same damn record. I think the Atlantic Division is really good with the Celtics, 76ers. The Knicks and Nets, are not bad. Neither is Toronto. The Heat, and then you got the Hawks and the Magic. But the Heat are a top 4 team in the East.
They are.
And that's what we knew if they were. So.
Is there a player that's going to be on the trade block to get teams over the hump? If so, who's that player?
Yeah, it's Zach LaVine in Chicago. I think he's a dynamic player, and Chicago's going nowhere, and they've got 3 players on that team that can make a difference: DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Vucevic, or whatever his name is, Vucevic, the center. All could be difference makers on the right team.
And all 3 get moved up before the trade deadline?
No, I think just Zach LaVine does, because it hasn't worked between him and DeRozan.
All right, before we get into the football, and we're going to get into the football here, Artful Dodger does have a question for you. Said, I'm a Brewers fan. What do you think of the Cubs signing Craig Counsell? I hear the Cubs want Anderson from Chi Sox also.
So, Art for Dodger, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a diehard Cubs fan. My daughter's name is Addison for a reason. I was the chef at Wrigley Field for years. But I usually fly my W here behind us, but not right now. In fact, here's a picture from me at the World Series in 2016. So, you asked me a question as a Brewers fan. What do I think of the Counsell signing? It's puzzling to me because do I think he's a better manager, in-game manager than David Ross? Probably. Do I think David Ross deserved to be let go in place of Counsell? Is Counsell that much better of a coach than David Ross? I don't think so, especially when considering the roster that the Cubs have. Does Counsell, make the decisions to get them into the playoffs? No, the team really played like crap. So, and you got an overachieving Bellinger and a couple other players too that got the Cubs to where they were last year. They got some good pieces, but they're going to have to make some signings. And to your point, does Anderson, from the White Sox make a difference on the Cubs? I don't think so. I love Anderson's game, but I don't think he's a shortstop anymore. And, where are you going to put Anderson then? In center field? I don't know. So to me, it was puzzling. I'd like to see what the Brewers do. Maybe the Brewers hire Ross, and I've heard that. But I don't think.
How funny would that be?
I don't think the signing of Counsell makes the Cubs any more better than what they had with Ross. Let's put it that way. I would have spent that $8 million a year in other places.
All right, let's go to some NFL talk, and then we'll go back to the Dolphins.
Miami Sports for Life. It is the same Counsell that played for the Marlins back in '97. Yes.
Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan talk show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network.
People want to hear the Dolphins talk.
Stephen D. Cameron 954 from East 32. Make sure you hit that like button, donate to the channel, help the channel grow. Before we dive into the Dolphins talk, I do want to start somewhere else in football. A couple places. David Tepper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, was in a press conference yesterday and revealed that the team had in place a 3-way trade with the Texans and the Bears to move up to the #2 overall pick back in the draft. It was a done deal until the Texans changed their mind at the 11th hour. There's been no 3-team trades in the history of the NFL. What do you think about this?
I think we should start talking about the Dolphins.
I do want to talk. Do you ever think there will be a 3-team trade in the NFL? And why hasn't there been?
Because nobody cares. No, I'm being facetious, but seriously, seriously, who cares? If there's a 3-team trade, I guess it depends on the situation and the benefit that all the 3 teams. So if I'm hearing this right, Carolina would have taken Stroud instead of what message are you sending your current quarterback? Why would you even say that?
Well, no. Well, I mean, they first of all, they didn't draft Stroud yet. This was before the Texans had drafted. The Panthers owner is the one who said it, and he said that there was a deal in place and that they would have gotten the #2 overall pick, and it wouldn't have been the Texans who kept it. The Texans kept it because they liked CJ Stroud and wanted
that's
him.
My point. If they make so why as a Carolina Panthers owner do you say that and throw your current quarterback who you drafted under the bus?
Bryce Young. Well, I didn't even think about that as that's very well. I mean, look, they can say that they, when maybe he was going to go up and draft Bryce Young with the #2 overall pick. He could play that card if he wanted to. He wasn't, but he could. I think as far as the reason I wanted to talk about it is I'm a big sports fan, and I always find it very interesting that they have not done a 3-team trade in the NFL. And I think part of the reason is in the NFL, it's, for example, you can't pay for draft picks, right? So the Aqib Talib trade for us a couple of years ago, we got Aqib Talib, and in return, or we got Aqib Talib, and they gave us a few $1 million within that trade, and it gave us salary cap relief and stuff like that. And they gave us a pick, if I'm correct. So essentially, we paid for a trade to take the money off the books, right? So there's a lot more rules in the NFL than in Major League Baseball or in the NBA, and I just don't know if you'll ever see a 3-team trade. I wish we would have seen it. I think it would have set a precedent, and maybe more teams would try to do it, because I feel like, especially at the trade deadline, there's teams that might need certain things, and some teams just might say, hey, I'd rather just do one big trade, and let's just do it like that. So I hope to see it one day. I just don't think we ever will. But I was very surprised when I saw that yesterday, that that was a deal in place for a 3-team. And would the NFL have approved it? I guess that's another question too. I think they would have. All right. Another thing around the NFL is quarterbacks. A lot of quarterbacks have gotten hurt this year. I think there's 6 quarterbacks in the NFL, starting quarterbacks, that are on IR. And we talk every year about health and teams. And the backup quarterback position is always one that is really interesting. And I bring up the Josh Dobbs situation again, starting in Cleveland, going to Arizona, and then obviously now in Minnesota. Do NFL teams, what do they look for in a backup? Is it somebody who fits their scheme or their offense? I know every team is different, but for the most part, because I feel like for years there were times where our backup was totally different from our starter as far as playing ability and how they played. And Josh Dobbs has been very interesting because he's been a nomad in the NFL. He's played for a few different teams already, and now he's sitting here and he's got a really nice setup in Minnesota. It's really interesting. What are your thoughts about, the health of quarterbacks and how teams view backups to potentially, still make sure they're not out of a playoff hunt when their starting quarterback goes down?
I think any backup position is important, but there's no more important backup position in the NFL than the quarterback position, right? But it all comes down to salary cap management, who's available at the time, the offensive scheme you're running, and if that particular player can run the scheme of your number one quarterback. And we saw that in Miami last year, where Teddy Two Gloves wasn't too proficient in running the same offense that was built for Tua. Not to say that Mike White is, but Mike White I think fits the mold a little bit better and can make the passes in this offense if need be. And he was, available for the right price. I think that had more to do with his selection as it pertains to the Dolphins. You look at somebody like the Bears, who, you don't plan on your number one going down, and they had, 3 or 4 quarterbacks, but went with their drafted quarterback to get him the experience. So, realistically, the Bears know they weren't, in a playoff rush. So the importance of having a number 2 that can get you to the playoffs isn't as great for that situation, right? So I think it's all situational. The Josh Dobbs is amazing in the fact that he's able to pick up playbooks within a week and win games.
And that, 100%.
And you ask anybody, and
he's had to learn 3 different systems this year.
Well, you listen to anybody that's talked about Josh Dobbs in the national media, whether it's Stephen A. Smith or anybody that came from the league. Can't remember his name, the former GM and head scout, who's now a commentator for ESPN.
Louis Oliver.
Huh?
Louis Oliver.
No, not Louis Oliver. Regardless of who it is, everybody knows that Josh Dobbs is the smartest man in the NFL, regardless of whether he's a player or a coach. Like, that man is a rocket scientist. His ability to learn and conceptualize and implement is bar none better than anybody else, and that's why he's gifted physically to do what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
There's very few people on this planet that walk around, with his skill set.
Very.
And you're seeing this. So
that's and by the way, that's always been my problem with people talking about expansion or bringing a team a division overseas or something, because there's only so many quality quarterbacks that can play in this league. And I don't think there's 32 really good quarterbacks. There are 32 starting quarterbacks, obviously, but you look at the bottom of the barrel of the NFL and the starters, and you're like, yeah, they'd be backups on most good teams. And I think that the starter quality and how it's looked at in the NFL is very interesting. Josh Dobbs situation. I mean, look at Kirk Cousins, right? Kirk Cousins for years and did really good in Washington, but Washington never saw him as a starter. And now it's interesting, to kind of see how they view him in Minnesota, or how they did view him in Minnesota, and how that is.
I just sent you a message. I think we should be talking about this first.
All right, let me pull it on.
Because the people in the chat are asking about it. But going back to your question, before you pull that on, I think it has to do with the situation, where the team is, like who's Kansas City's backup quarterback? Can you tell me?
It was Matt Moore for a lot of years.
It wasn't Matt Moore. It was the other backup quarterback at the
Chad Henne.
Chad Henne. Isn't it Matt
I don't know.
Castle?
I don't know who the backup is there now.
Isn't it Matt Castle? And by the way, going back to our original, there was one 3-team trade in the NFL, and it had to do with Eric Dickerson. Los Angeles Rams sent Dickerson to the Indianapolis Colts. Buffalo Bills got linebacker Cornelius Bennett. The Rams got 3 first-round draft picks and 3 second-round draft picks, along with 2 running backs.
I stand corrected. I never thought there was one, but there's only been one.
Steven, GTS.
What is that?
Google that shit.
Google that shit. I love it. All right, let's talk about the most important thing to Dolphins fans right now, and that is this. Cornrow Tua, baby. Looking like Drake out here. What do you think about Uno's swag, man? How he's just a totally different person right now, isn't he?
Listen, I'm here for every bit of it, because he's about to go on HBO, and it's funny, during the local presser, a local reporter asked, pointed out that, hey, does anybody tell you resemble Drake? And he had to laugh, and he said, well, at least my wife likes it that way, Look, Blaine Gabbert is the Chiefs' backup quarterback, by the way.
Blaine Gabbert, okay. Look, I thought this was really interesting looking at this, because I think it says a lot about where Tua is right now in his career. And for me, it's one word, and one word only, and that's confidence.
Leave that back up there.
And that's confident. I think for me, looking at Tua and seeing how confident he is right now tells me so much about the type of quarterback that we have. There was a question that was asked in this press conference. He goes, the reporter asked him, do you want an MVP, or what do you think about winning an NFL MVP? And his quick response was, I want to win a Super Bowl. Like, I'd rather win a Super Bowl. That means more to me than anything. And so I think he's a team player. I think the players love him. I think he's the most confident he's ever been. And when you see more and more of his personality coming out like that with the tattoo sleeve, I love it, man. I think he is absolutely awesome right now. And he's been so much fun to watch this year. So much fun.
I love the comments, man, because this guy could, wear the Pope's hat and he'd still be the most hated man in the NFL.
Yep.
Like it's fucking crazy to me to understand where he's come from a near career-ending and debilitating injury to, a top quarterback in the NFL. And say what you will about the opposing defenses, he's still, putting up numbers and beating teams. It doesn't matter. Like it's crazy to me, especially when you compare him to the other quarterbacks in his draft class. Like what he's doing in year 5 is a lot better than what.
So I'm not. I don't know if I can say this now, but if Tua does what I think he can do this year, which is take the team to the promised land, is he the best quarterback in that draft class?
So, I mean, listen, will he be the first to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he would.
Then you say yes.
If he just goes to the Super Bowl,
you say yes.
I agree.
And there's like the proof is on the paper. Like if he goes to the Super Bowl, he's the best quarterback in the draft class. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Like we in sales, the truth is in the numbers, right? Like, and if he takes this team to the Super Bowl, and listen, all the other guys have good receivers and good people around them. It's bullshit. You've got to be the player to complement those other good players around them, and vice versa. It's a team game. It's just not about the quarterback.
Look, for me, I think that Tua, in my opinion, is this year's NFL MVP so far. He's playing like it. I think over the next 5 games, my hope is that he puts up major numbers so that can actually be a thing. And then we're really going to get to see what he's about in those final 3 games. And for me, that's,
final 4 games are the playoff push going in, and what they have: the Jets, the Bills, the Cowboys, and the Ravens, right?
And the Bills at the end.
That's what I said. Like, so it starts with the Cowboys.
Cowboys on Christmas Eve, then it goes Ravens.
Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and then you've got the
January 18th.
The Jets are first, the Cowboys, the Ravens, and then Buffalo. 3 of those 4 at home.
I think the Dolphins win the next 5 games, and then the final 3 games, if I'm correct, right? 3? Yes, final 3. I'm not saying that they're a toss-up yet. I'm just saying that let me see how these next 5 games go before I give my decision on how I feel about the final 3. But I think they're going to go undefeated in the next 5 weeks. Like they're going to beat the Jets twice. They're going to beat the Raiders this weekend. They're going to take care of business, and they're when they're sitting at 11-3 going into the last 3 weeks of the season and playing for the number 1 seed, Tua is the MVP, in my opinion, for this year. You think I'm right?
You have to be if that's the case. If they're the number 1 seed in the AFC and they go to the Super Bowl, he's the MVP.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. All right. Yesterday on Wildin' Out Wednesday, I posed this question, and I'd like to get it from you. There's 2 questions I want to ask, and I want to get your thoughts on. Number 1, who is the biggest surprise of the Miami Dolphins in 2023? Who's the biggest surprise for you on this team?
I'm really thinking about some what someone said in here to the chat. Let me before I answer that question, let me make a statement. Like, there's more parity in the NFL this year than ever, right? You've got good teams beating bad teams beating good teams on any given Sunday. I don't buy into the narrative that this team can't beat good teams. The Chiefs have only beaten 2 teams with winning records. All right, so and they're 7-1, right, or whatever, they're 7-2. Buffalo's beaten 1 team with a winning record. Like it's total bullshit. You beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and you try to beat the teams that are better than you, and that's how you become a better team. Did they get curb stomped by Buffalo in Buffalo? Absolutely, and it was a shitty game. Did they shoot themselves in the foot in Philly? Were they in that game until the 4th quarter? Absolutely.
There was a 1 possession game with 6.5 minutes left.
100%. And Tyreek dropped a fucking touchdown in the end
that would
zone.
have tied the game.
And we're not even going to talk about the referees because I don't ever want to go down that road as an excuse, but it was atrocious. And against Kansas City, they had the ball, with a chance to tie the game. So they were in that game on the road.
Did they start out horribly? Yes. Nobody's denying that. They need to play.
Well, who cares? They limited the Kansas City Chiefs to the lowest offensive.
They held Patrick Mahomes to 14 points. And like, in my opinion, I think I'm ready to say this. The second half for the Miami Dolphins in the Kansas City game, minus the last 4 plays, might have been the best football they played all year. Facts.
Listen, and Tua did his job in that game, and you can go down and dissect that last drive. I think it's more on McDaniel not continuing to call run plays.
Mm-hmm.
That really pissed me off. But
I didn't say the last drive. I said the last.
The point in the matter is that they had the Super Bowl champion in a position, to tie the game. Listen, they didn't win the game, and that's the NFL. If the Raiders come into Miami and challenge Miami and beat Miami, then we have a big issue. Then we got a big issue. For all intents and purposes, the Dolphins should curb stomp the Raiders at home. They should the next week go into the Jets and beat a tough
Black Friday. Yep.
On Black Friday and beat a tough Jets defense and control that game with their own defense. That's what we're going to look for this team to make the steps. Remember, it's the big picture. We're not deeming this team Super Bowl champions in week 1. I haven't, and you shouldn't either. But at week 17, then we should know whether this team is, a legitimate Super Bowl contender, especially after the last 4 games of the season.
Miami is a game and a half up in the division. Are you confident that they get the AFC? How confident are you that they'll get the AFC East crown this year?
I'm very confident. I don't think that, especially because I legitimately can see the Jets beating Buffalo in Buffalo this week, even though I don't think it happens, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. They should win the AFC East and win it handily, right? Now, anything can happen. You still got 8 games left.
You think Aaron Rodgers comes back the December 17th game?
I don't think it matters. I think he won't because it won't matter.
I agree.
And I really like Zach Wilson's got exceptional tools. He needs to be coached up the correct way and continue to evolve, right? He can be a very good quarterback in this league. He's just not now.
Real quick, I want to interrupt. I want to address 2 people. Okay. G-Man said, McDaniel looks like a guy who just wants to have a good time. He never seems serious. His team is never prepared against good teams. They get overwhelmed. They held the defending Super Bowl champion offense to 14 points and didn't allow them to score in the second half. And they looked pretty good on offense the second half.
They put 3 TDs on the Kansas City defense.
What are you talking about?
But to fit the narrative, it's going to be, well, they got Ramsey back, and Vic Fangio is starting to click.
But 3 weeks ago, people were killing Fangio and how the defense was looking. And meanwhile, Stephen D was sitting here telling y'all on Clock Blockers, guys, allow the learning curve to happen. It's gonna come together. Let Vic Fangio just let them gel. We got a year. The learning curve takes time. It's not gonna happen overnight. And now their defense looks stout. It looks great. And then to Mac's point, the 3 losses have all been against physical teams. Miami is built on finesse and speed. They can't punch back. So when punched in the mouth. McDaniel runs a country club atmosphere. Are y'all kidding me? Are y'all kidding me?
Like Mac, let's dissect your what you just said here in 2 parts, because the first part, 3 losses have been against physical opponents, which is entirely true. And it's the Achilles heel of the offense is that you play press man coverage and you throw them off their timing, because this offense is built around timing. That's why I think moving forward, Devon Achane is such an integral part of this team's success, because they will continue running the ball. And the offensive line is healthy and getting healthier, and they will continue running the ball on a league-leading rate. All right. The second half of your statement is totally preposterous. You don't know, and you're not in that locker room. Yeah. We don't know. We're not in that locker room. But I'm not going out and saying that he runs a fucking country club atmosphere. What I will say is he has the same players that the former coach had on this roster, playing harder for them and buying into a program that the former coach couldn't.
I said at the beginning of the year that the Miami Dolphins would have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense when it's all said and done. And I still stand behind that statement. I think they will have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. And if you think that that is whatever, a country club atmosphere, or you don't think, like, I don't know what to tell you, then you are just a straight hater at that point, in my opinion.
And listen, people bringing up Shula's name. This is a different league. This is a players' league. It ain't like the old school league.
I don't know. Let me be careful how I say this. Shula would have to adjust the way he coaches in today's
100%. It's why Bill Parcells is no longer in this league, and his people really that whole Belichick coaching tree is shit because it's not the same league.
Those guys like Josh McDaniels and who's the guy with the beard that coached Detroit for years, a couple of years, Patricia, and anybody who's on that.
Romeo Crennel.
They tried to rule the way that Bill Belichick rules. But the problem with that is Belichick rules the way that Parcells did, but he can do that because he has the cachet to do it. Romeo Crennel, all those other guys, they couldn't do it. No, they would have to adjust to Shula or find another job, G-Man says. Well,
100%. Like that, but that's the nature of the league today. It's a players' league, and this league is built around stars and players, and it's a. Then we can go down this road, and it's a testament to our culture, which I'm not a fan of, but it is what it is, right? Like, you cater to the stars because they get you to the promised land, and that's what you see. So when you say that they're relying on trickery, well, that's how this offense is built based on the personnel that they have. They don't have Derrick Henry running between the tackles 38 times a game, right? They play.
So let me ask you. So Devon Achane running down the guts of a football team, like this weekend, if Devon plays, like he's gonna run up, he's gonna curb stomp whoever, whether his first game is this week against Vegas or next week against the Jets, he's gonna curb stomp them. And I personally think Devon Achane is gonna play this week to get ready for next week to play against the better defense in the Jets. But
no, Devon Achane will be activated. I'm telling you, he's practicing, full practice.
He's playing this Sunday, and he's going to have over 100 yards.
And to say that this offensive line gets no push, you go watch some film, buddy, because this team is the best rushing team in the league, and their offensive line is the reason why.
Boy, some hostility in the chat today, man. People are. It's. I think.
You call it trickery, like it's not. It's trickery is when you're too stupid to understand what they're doing and you're not evolving, right? This it's about bringing something new to a league that other teams have to adjust to, and that's what McDaniel is doing.
This guy is such a Dolphins homer. I admit that some of my takes do lean towards the homer side, and I admit that on my channel as such. But I also know football well enough to know that the Dolphins are a top 5 team, and they're a top 3 team. But I'll say top 5 to be safe. They are a top 5 team in the NFL. Period. And the only 2 teams that really, in my opinion, that can compete, the 3 teams. Buffalo, even as shitty as they are, have our number, and I'm not denying that. They're a crappy team, but they're a divisional opponent, and they know how to play us. And then the other 2, those other 2 teams were in the Super Bowl last year. Well, G-Man, if they don't interest you, go to another channel and watch them. Like, you have a choice to turn off people are stupid. People are stupid. You guys want to ignore the obvious problems with the Dolphins. That's on you guys. They aren't physical. McDaniels is running a loose atmosphere. That's why they will never beat these top teams. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait for the last.
I can't listen. I posted this on Twitter last week. I cannot wait for the Dolphins to lose to the Cowboys at home. Listen to me. Lose to the Ravens. So they're on a 2-game losing streak. And lose to Buffalo at home to end the year because they're resting their starters and go on to win the Super Bowl.
G-Man and Mac, when they do beat those teams, feel free to come back here and say, you know what, Steven, you were right. It sounded like a homer take, but you did believe when nobody else did. Or you believed when I didn't. Whatever it is. McDaniel is the new way. Look at the NFL right now. And for you to say, by the way, do you know why McDaniel is the way that he is? Because he learned from Sean McVay. Does Sean McVay have a Super Bowl ring, Cameron? Nope. Did he win a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
But he's not aggressive. Sean McVay's the same type of coach that McDaniel is. By the way, Kyle Shanahan is in San Francisco too. They're all under the same coaching tree. They're all from the same coaching tree. They run it the same way. That is being objective, dumbass.
Woo.
I mean, I'm not being objective. Please. Mac, I believe, will not run and hide from his comments. Mac, I think, will come here. G-Man, the Dolphin, I don't know about you, sir.
I think that's Roach. Isn't that Roach?
No, Roach is Jags Junkie.
No, got you. What up, Roach?
Yeah, I feel some type of way. I'm sorry.
You should. Listen, I feel
some type of way because we are in first place. We're a game and a half up in the division. We're a top 5 team in all of football. We have 2 players that are potential MVP candidates, and there are still people in this fan base that are like, I don't know. Even if you want to say, Steven, I need to see them beat a really good team, but I hear where you're coming from. I see why you're feeling like that. What do you want me to say? I think that is where they're at. Sean McVay and McDaniel are from Kyle Shanahan's coaching tree. And I think they're all from Mike Shanahan's coaching tree in Washington in 2013. I don't know.
You hire the coach that fits the team that you have, the players that they have. You hire a coach. You brought in McDaniel because he saw what could become of Tua based on what his offensive theory is. You signed Tyreek Hill because of that. Tyreek Hill comes here because people in the know understand
they are mediocre the same they've been for the last 20 years. See, that's PTSD.
Listen,
Dolphins.
If they were
PTSD Dolphins fan.
If they were 5-4 or 4-5, you could say they're mediocre, but they're 6-3 and they're not. So when they're 7-3 after this weekend,
don't cook them well done, Steven. That ain't good eating. Look, and Mac, let me ask you a question, Mac. Here's a question I have for you. With the Dolphins, do you, because you had said the statement, McDaniel's a perfect fit for the Dolphins. Relax beats relaxed, or relax loves relaxed. My question to you is, Mac, do you believe that they can win a Super Bowl with him? Do you think that it's good enough to win a Super Bowl? I would be interested if Mac thinks that. You can think that he's a relaxed and he's different.
What do you think?
You also have to say that has won in this league before. So it's not like he's doing something new.
What do you think? Do you think McDaniel? Let me ask you this question because it's a legitimate question that I have.
No.
I'm skeptical too. Like, is McDaniel evolved enough as a head coach to lead this team to the Super Bowl? Because listen, we can sit here and point out many instances of lack of clock management that really have done some detriment to this team in terms of wins and losses. We can say that he is pass happy or calls plays that maybe try to get the ball to Tyreek more than spread the ball out more. You know, is he go away from the run too often? Does he fall in love with his trickery? Does he fall in love, not his trickery, but, you know, does he fall in love with plays that, you know, are designed to outsmart the other opponent instead of going with what is getting you there, and that's the outside zone run scheme.
Well,
those are all legitimate questions, and I understand that, and I agree with that. Like if there's an Achilles heel to this team, it could be Mike McDaniel. So think about that.
But we're in the position that we're in because of him. Nobody else believed in Tua the way that he does.
And listen, I'm not disagreeing with that statement. We're in this position today because of Mike McDaniel.
Yep.
But the question is Mike McDaniel in the position to lead this team to a Super Bowl?
So remember last year, we had this conversation a couple of times. We had it in the car going to the baseball game. We had it on here on the channel plenty of times. And the one thing I'll say in football is that I think that coaches don't get enough time with their own learning curve, right? Like people don't give head coaches enough time to succeed or fail. And it's about what you've done for me lately, right? It's about that's the world and that's the league that this is. This is the best this team has looked in 20 years. You can't deny that. And if you do, you're just straight hating. This is not a mediocre team. This is a really good football team. And by the way, I like what you said earlier. There are teams this year, the NFL this year is so close in talent. Like the talent is better this year in the league than it's been in past years. So look, I think that
the talent is the parity, right?
Yeah, that's where I was getting at. 100%. And G-Man says, I saw Shula and Marino. You can't compare Tua and McDaniel to them. To be fair, Marino never won a ring.
It's two different eras, right? Like that's what drives me crazy about this fan base is that we want to compare Tua to Marino. And
that's not fair.
Two different eras. The game is totally different. There's different rules. There's different. Listen, there's no denying that Dan Marino is top 3 greatest quarterback of all time, right? So any quarterback that comes in here, whether it was Tannehill or whoever, before him, got compared to Marino. That's the nature of the culture that we live in because this is a Miami Dolphins sports town. And Tua is having success, and burgeoning and writing his own story, and he'll forever be compared to Marino until he wins a Super Bowl, which Marino never did.
G-Man and Mac, do you hope that you guys are wrong? I have a question. Do you hope that you guys are wrong in how you view currently the team? Do you hope
G-Man just guaranteed that Tua will never get paid?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I saw that. I just want to know. I want to know, do you guys hope that you're wrong?
How do you not pay the most accurate and proficient quarterback from that draft class? How do you not pay a quarterback that has evolved and has improved?
Okay. I wanted to know. Yes, I hope I'm wrong. Okay. I'm glad you two said that. I can listen to you guys a little bit now because I want you guys to be like, I hope that I'm wrong, but this is how I view the team. G-Man, my view of you is that you've had 20 plus years of mediocrity. You've rooted for this team for 42 years. You've seen this team good. You've seen this team at its worst. And I think you have some PTSD in the past. I think if you look at it through a pair of fresh lenses, you will see that this team is better than they have been, is on par with the team in the early 90s and probably the early 80s. Like that's how good this team is. And they have to show you that, right? And I can listen to that. They need to show me it. I'll listen to that. My view is that's how I view this team right now. Your view is I'm not going to say that until I've seen it. And as far as I'm concerned right now, they haven't won the big game. And I can deal with that. I can deal with that. I can 100% deal with that. Now, to say that he's never going to get paid, 100%. Max says, I've been on your channel, Steven. I'm Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative. You need to change your name to Mr. Negative so I know that's you, man.
Well, Mac is Mr. Negative?
I love Mr. Negative.
Mr. Negative, same Mr. Negative that's on Twitter.
Yeah, Mr. Negative is one of my favorite people.
I love that guy.
I do too. I do too. I love Mr. Negative. They haven't won a big game. They haven't won any big games in 2 years.
Haven't won any big games in 2 years. Didn't they beat Buffalo last year?
They did in Miami, and I was at that game. That was a big game. That was a big game. They haven't won a lot of big games, a majority of big games. I will give them that.
Big game to me is a playoff game, right? Like, or a game that determines whether you get in the playoffs or a high playoff seed.
We lost by 3 points with a third string quarterback, and our secondary depleted to like fourth stringers.
Right. So let's talk about big games in December. Let's talk about those last 4 games. Those are big games. This team could be 11-3 or 10-4 at the worst. Going into the December 24th game against Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
And then you start the run of the big games.
So that's what you should say, G-Man. I'm just going to wait till December 24th. We'll see how this team is in those last 3 weeks.
Mr. Negative is a damn Pete lover. Why is Pete the common denominator? I love it.
That's when the games are biggest. Marino's go too funny.
Pete's been on Twitter. I've talked to him on Twitter.
All right. If people want to go to the tailgate this weekend, Cameron, how do they do that?
Hey, you just check out tailgreeter.com, search East 32 Dolphins Tailgate, search Miami Dolphins, and because I'm the host tailgate for all Miami Dolphins home games. And you can download the app today free on your Apple device or your Cricket Android device. And
you can't even come up with a slang because there ain't no bad slang for Android, sir. None.
They're just crap. But my point is that you chip in and you join the fun and tap in on Tailgreeter, and we have a great time. It's all inclusive tailgate. It's everybody's welcome. We host visiting teams fan clubs. We host visiting Dolphins fan clubs. We host all the locals. And it's a really great time. We do all the cooking there, fresh, and it's not frozen, store-bought, frozen food. We do all the preparations there, and it's all the food that you find at the finest restaurants. And we have world-class DJ Breezy Two Fly on the decks. We have our bartenders slinging the top shelf drinks, and the shout out to Vesa Sewer, who is our beer sponsor. And we have fresh dirty sportswear gear available at the tailgates every game as well, man. And this week is Salute to Service, so we have some special Salute to Service gear made up and available at the tailgate.
Look, if you guys also are going to go to Washington in a couple of weeks, we would love to see you there. We got the FedEx takeover. It's going to be a lot of fun. Limited tickets left available for the tailgate and bus tickets. If you're interested in the bus, the Hampton Inn by Hilton is our partner hotel for this. There are actually still rooms available there. If you guys want to get rooms there, there's just no more group rate. If you go to Hilton, type in Hampton Inn, Washington, D.C. /White House. There are still rooms available there. And we're taking a bus from the hotel to the tailgate that is leaving Sunday morning. So just a reminder of that. Remember, Saturday night is the meet and greet over at the Admiral in D.C. We're going to have a lot of fun for that. And look, if you're not going to that, but you're going to go to Baltimore, we still have Saturday night meet and greet, game tickets, all-inclusive tailgate, and the Baltimore beat down 2023. We had a great time last year. We're going to have a great time again. And
hey,
yeah, it's gonna be good.
Hey, put up what Artful Dodger just put up there.
Do we know if that's accurate?
I am. It doesn't. There's nothing on the Google machine that says it is accurate. In fact, it says 18 hours ago, Ryan Tannehill logs full practice. Let me see here. because that'd be interesting, right? So if you were, whoever said it earlier about Mac Jones requesting his release.
I did. Well, Rob Gronkowski did last week or yesterday on Kay Adams' show.
Tannehill requests his release and it's granted to him.
He would definitely be in Cleveland. He would 100% be a great fit there.
Right?
And that would make everything different.
Would it?
Yeah, 100%. By the way, the Lakers have very real interest in Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, there's nothing about Ryan Tannehill on Twitter either. So, wow. Hey, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Who's the highest quarterback this year without Googling it?
Okay. Jeff Simon just tweeted from ESPN. I'm listening to you.
Newfoundland, appreciate the shout out. Come on down for the Jets game. It's going to be good. The Jets game, I'll remind everybody, the tailgate will be featuring Sonny's cheesesteaks, fresh cheesesteaks, chicken subs, Italian sausage and rice, all the good stuff from Sonny's cheesesteaks. Joe Burrow getting $55 million this year. Herbert, $52.5 million. Lamar Jackson, $52 million. Jalen Hurts, $51 million. Russell Wilson, $48 million.
I know at two is at like $8 million.
2 is at 7.6.
Yeah. I love it.
That boy will get paid.
He's going to get a bag. He is going.
Gee, man, if you want to go watch the offense against the Eagles, watch that film again. Tyreek dropped a touchdown. They had a no-call pass interference on Cedric Wilson in the end zone. They had a no-call pass interference on Raheem Mostert in the end zone. Those are 2 plays that would have put him first and goal, and they would have scored. The drop touchdown to Tyreek was on Tyreek, and he was wide open in the end zone. That game could have gone another way. Credit to Philadelphia for winning the game. The tush push to see it in person, like ate up 8 minutes of the fourth quarter, and really it was the reason why Philadelphia won that game.
Gee, man, anything we say, you're going to say is an excuse. You can't take anything. So, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, listen.
Can't please everybody.
It's okay.
All right, man. Tomorrow is Spread Kindness Friday is tomorrow. Jason Sarni will be on with me. Be a good show. We're going to have a lot of fun. If you guys like today's show, hit the like button. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Donate to the channel if you're able to. It helps. Helps the channel grow. And then Sunday we're going to be live from 10 a.m. to noon here on the channel. Batman will be here doing the live Tailgreeter tailgate show live from East 32 Dolphins tailgate. And I'm going to hop on for a little bit too, so it'll be good. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Hit the like button, share the link, let people know that we're here, and donate to the channel. Go seek East 32 Dolphins tailgate on Tailgreeter. What else?
Hey, I want to give a serious shout out first to everyone in the chat, man. I appreciate the comments, the back and forth, whether you're against the Dolphins, for the Dolphins. We're all here to chop it up and have a good time and leave the show in good spirits. So it's all love from us here at Clock Blockers and East 32. But I want to get a special shout out. Hope Sandy is still watching from the West Coast. She posted a picture of her and Danny Johnson. Danny Johnson, who most of y'all know is the president and CEO, self-professed CEO of TPP, the Positive Porpoise. His fan group and organization do a lot of great things for both our Dolphin fan community and the Miami Dolphins Dolphin Cancer Challenge, raising a ton of money. I think he's up to $250,000, or if not more, in total raised for different charities through his TPP organization. we all say a prayer for Danny. He had a serious accident at work yesterday. He's in the hospital recovering. And I just want to send love to Danny and get well soon, brother.
Get well soon, my guy.
Keep smiling, man. Keep smiling. And that's all I got.
Can we make a joke or no? Is it too early to make a joke? Thumbs up, Danny.
That's so bad, bro.
I love you, brother. I hope you're gonna be all right, man. You're gonna be all right.
Steven said it, not me, Danny.
I'm not gonna lie. Ryan Keeling is the one who gave me that joke, so I stole it from Ryan.
I do want to ask Danny, like, if you had a severe thumb injury, how were you texting this morning?
Do you text like this now? I'm sorry, this is so bad. This is too early.
We should not be saying it. We love you, Danny. We love you. Speedy recovery. We're praying for you, bro.
All right. That's all. We're so bad. I love you. Be good, man. Peace.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go.